Did you know that Skyfall was the first James Bond film to break the billion-dollar mark at the box office? That's right, after 50 years and 22 previous entries, Skyfall finally proved that 007 could compete with modern blockbuster franchises. But this wasn't just about making money, this was about something far more important, proving that a half-century-old character could remain relevant while staying true to his roots. From its breathtaking cinematography to its deeply personal story, Skyfall's journey from troubled production to critical acclaim reveals something crucial about modernizing classic characters. Sometimes, the best way forward is to look back. But before we jump in, if you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, take a second to hit that subscribe button now. It's one small click for you, but a huge deal for us. Thanks. Now, let's infiltrate what really went right with Skyfall. Reason number 1. Perfect deconstruction. Skyfall opens with something we've never truly seen before. James Bond failing. Not just failing, but getting shot, falling hundreds of feet into a river and being presumed dead. This isn't just another mission gone wrong, it's the perfect setup for the film's brilliant deconstruction of the legendary 007. But what makes this different from other Bond injuries in previous films? In the past, 007 would shrug off wounds with barely a wince, ready for the next action sequence. Here, that bullet wound becomes a metaphor for everything that's aging, breaking down, and failing within MI6 itself. When Bond digs fragments of that bullet out of his shoulder in a grimy bathroom mirror, we're watching more than just first aid. We're watching a man literally trying to piece himself back together. This vulnerability isn't just physical. Bond returns damaged, older, and questioning his own abilities. His hands shake when he shoots. He fails his evaluations. He can barely do one pull-up. For the first time, we see a Bond who is not superhuman, but very, very human. This isn't the invincible spy we're used to. This is a man grappling with obsolescence in a changing world. Reason number 2. Roger Deakins. For the first time in Bond history, a true master cinematographer was brought in to shoot 007's adventures. Roger Deakins, known for projects like No Country for Old Men and Blade Runner 2049, transformed Skyfall into something we'd never seen before, a Bond film that was genuinely beautiful. The neon-lit skyscrapers of Shanghai became a playground of light and shadow during Bond's silent confrontation with an assassin. The floating lanterns of Macau's casino create an otherworldly atmosphere that feels both exotic and intimate. The misty Scottish highlands in the finale evoke both the brooding darkness of Bond's past and the classical Western showdown about to unfold. This isn't just pretty pictures for their own sake. Every frame is a painting. When Silva's island is revealed, its abandoned streets and crumbling architecture perfectly reflect its owner's twisted mission of revenge. When Bond stands on the rooftop overlooking London, the grey skies and Gothic architecture remind us that this is a story about tradition against modernity. Reason number 3. Javier Bardem. Every great hero needs a great villain, and in Raúl Silva, Skyfall created one of Bond's most memorable adversaries. Javier Bardem's performance is not just menacing, it is a twisted reflection of everything Bond himself is. Unlike the megalomaniacs of past Bond films who wanted to rule or destroy the world for $1 million, Silva's vendetta is deeply personal. His theatrical entrance, that slow walk towards Bond while describing captured rats eating each other, tells us everything we need to know. This isn't a villain who wants to change the world. He wants to break the people who broke him. When he removes his prosthetic to reveal his disfigured face, it's not just shock value, it's physical proof of what loyalty to MI6 cost him. Silva is what Bond could have become, a loyal agent betrayed by MI6 who chose revenge over duty. His first scene, a long, unbroken shot as he walks toward Bond telling the rat story, is a masterclass in creating tension through pure character. There's no action, no explosions, just the quiet menace of a man who knows exactly how to get under Bond's skin. The genius of Silva isn't just in Bardem's unsettling performance, it's in how perfectly he embodies the film's themes. He represents the dangers of the digital age that M fears, using computers and information as his weapons. Yet, his motivation is deeply personal and old-fashioned. The revenge of a son against his mother. Like the film itself, he's a bridge between Bond's past and present. Reason number 4. M's journey. For the first time in Bond history, M becomes more than just the person behind a desk giving orders. She becomes the emotional heart of the story. Judi Dench's final outing as M transforms the character from authority figure to surrogate mother, not just to Bond, but to the entire organization she protects, and to a lesser degree, the entire United Kingdom. When M stands before Parliament defending the necessity of shadows in a world demanding transparency, she isn't just defending her organization, she's defending the entire Bond franchise's worldview. Her recitation of Tennyson's Ulysses isn't some poetic flourish, it's a powerful statement about aging, duty, and the refusal to fade away quietly. The genius of making M the target of Silva's revenge is how it forces Bond to become the protector rather than a blunt instrument. Every mission before this has been about Bond following M's orders, but this time it's personal. Not because of a dead lover or a betrayal, but because the one constant in Bond's life since becoming 007 is under threat. Reason number 5. The Skyfall estate. The masterstroke of Skyfall's final act is in taking Bond back to where it all began. Not just for his character, but metaphorically for the entire franchise. The return to Bond's ancestral home strips away all the fancy gadgets and modern technology, leaving us with the pure essence and trauma of what makes Bond who he is. The Skyfall estate sequence is brilliant in its simplicity. Armed with little more than his wits, his Walther PPK, and a few homemade traps, Bond has to protect M from Silva's assault. It's Home Alone meets Straw Dogs, but with the added weight of Bond confronting his own origins. The genius of this sequence isn't just in its action, it's in the symbolism. As Silva's men destroy his ancestral home, Bond is literally watching his past be destroyed. But instead of breaking him, it frees him. The destruction of Skyfall represents Bond's rebirth, allowing him to finally move forward while carrying the best parts of his legacy with him. Reason number 6. Classic elements. Skyfall pulls off an incredible balancing act by reintroducing classic Bond elements without ever feeling like simple fan service. Each returning element serves the story while honoring what came before. But perhaps the most masterful reintroduction comes at the very end, with Naomi Harris's reveal as Moneypenny. The film spends its entire runtime establishing her as a capable field agent, making her decision to take a desk job feel like a choice rather than some limitation. When she tells Bond her first name is Eve, it's more than a wink to longtime fans. It's the completion of a character arc that gives new depth to a role that had been reduced to flirtatious banter in previous films. The new Q, played brilliantly by Ben Whishaw, embodies the tension between old and new. His first meeting with Bond in the National Gallery, discussing the relevance of field agents while sitting before Turner's The Fighting Temeraire, perfectly captures the film's central theme of tradition versus progress. The return of the Aston Martin DB5 isn't some nostalgia play, it's a strategic choice by Bond to go off the grid. When Silva's men destroy it during the final battle, it feels like a real loss, because that car represents everything Bond stands for: elegance, durability, and British tradition. Reason number 7. Adele's theme. A great Bond film needs a great theme song, and Adele's Skyfall stands among the very best. It's no coincidence that it became the first Bond theme to win an Academy Award. What sets Skyfall apart from other Bond themes is how it builds tension throughout its runtime. Just like the film itself, the song starts intimate and haunting, with Adele's voice barely above a whisper, before exploding into that massive orchestral chorus that echoes the classic John Barry scores. When those horns hit and Adele belts out "Let the Sky Fall," it feels like every Bond theme that came before has been leading to this moment. They all walked so Skyfall could run. A perfect fusion of modern vocal power and classic 007 brass orchestration. The song captures everything the film represents. It's both classical and modern, both powerful and intimate. Its lyrics about facing the end and standing tall perfectly match the film's themes of resilience and rebirth. The way it incorporates the classic Bond theme while creating something new mirrors exactly what the film accomplishes as a whole. But hey, that's just our opinion. What do you think? Was this a perfect Bond film, or did it stray too far from the formula? Was it trying to do too much? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of these deep dives into cinema's greatest achievements. Remember, sometimes the old ways are better. This video was made by movie fans for movie fans.